Before I start this video, I'd just like to say that only 1.1% of the people who watch my videos are actually subscribed. So if you really appreciate my videos, please consider subscribing. Okay, so today I am building a recreation of the Rocket Lab rocket Electron, which is a privately owned rocket made by Rocket Lab, which is designed to put CubeSats into space for privately owned companies. And one of the interesting things about the Electron is that its entire fuselage is 3D printed. So its entire fuselage, all its engines, like of course not its fuel because that's not possible, but its whole body is 3D printed. So and now of course this can't be recreated in Kerbal, but yeah, but I can do the best I can with that limitation. So what I'm doing, I'm just getting the general color scheme of the rocket right now. I've decided that I'm going to use point 1.5 1.25 meter diameter parts for this because the Electron is quite a small rocket, and it is powered by a cluster of 9 engines, same as the Falcon Heavy, or same as the Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy, and these engines are also all 3D printed, I think, according to my research. These are also the first, I think they were called electric fuel pump engines that were put into commission by some private company or actually any company in general for space. And so there are what they do to conserve mass to make this, I guess, yeah, off the engines. There are some batteries, and in the real Electron they jettison 2 batteries when they're all exhausted of the electricity that they store, because this saves mass. I think this is because it then reduces the terminal velocity of the actual payload that comes back down once it deploys the CubeSats, because that is what the Electron deploys into orbit. Yeah, and I'm putting in a parachute on screen right now. That parachute, I had to exchange it for the bigger Mark II or Mark III Mark III parachute, because that parachute did not was not able to sufficiently slow it down. But yeah, I also made custom flags because even though there is an Electron flag in Kerbal, it is not the words, it is only the Electron logo. In addition, there's no American flag, and there is a Rocket Lab logo, however, although it is not that big. Yeah. And so this rocket is bringing a small CubeSat into orbit, which is a relay. A CubeSat is just a small contained relay satellite, or they're like small satellites that would bring something to space. In this CubeSat, it's going to be just a CubeSat core, and then an unfolding umbrella sort of relay dish, which is a realistic thing, because there was actually a CubeSat that did bring something like that into orbit. And yeah, the Electron is very similar to the SpaceX Falcon 9, if I haven't said that already, because it is a completely reusable it's a completely reusable launch system, and it's deployed 151 satellites successfully by the time of this recording, and 31 launches to date. And it has 3 launch pads, and this launches from New Zealand, not the typical Cape Canaveral in Florida. And so, yeah, I think, yeah. Now I'm just putting everything up I might have repeated this footage, but it gives me more time to explain the awesomeness of this rocket. So the first stage, there's nine Rutherford engines, which are the same engines that are on which are 9 Rutherford engines, a cluster of them, which is the exact same thing as the exact same number as SpaceX, the Falcon 9, which you probably know. Yeah, and then that part flies down. It does not have re-entry control pads, or not control pads, like flaps that extend out and control it, nor does it have landing legs, because in reality this rocket would actually be caught by a helicopter mid-descent and brought back to the launch pad. However, that is not really possible. Okay, here we are at the launch. I'm just time warping today because that's much better for my viewers, who are you. And yeah, now we're launching. The rocket was just a wee bit too heavy to get off the launch pad at first, and so it came down, bounced, and now we're all good. This was very difficult to control craft because there are no control surfaces, and it is not the most stable craft at all. And yeah. Also, it is actually, if you change the staging, this craft will work as a fully reusable craft, but for some reason I didn't realize it at the time of filming, and I too lazy to refilm this in the entire flight. Yeah, you can see I'm getting quite out of control here. So if you download the craft file, my best suggestion to you is just to fly straight up till you hit 10 kilometers and then start nosing over, not do a general gravity turn. Now I take a quick save there, and as I jettison the lower stage, so I can land that in the end of the video. But right now I'm launching the payload into orbit, and if you like these engine plumes, yeah, this is the engine plume mod. It's called stock waterfall effects. It gives realistic engine plumes to engines that based on what their use is and their power. Yeah. Now I'm just time warping around to go and get into orbit. This wasn't really a big mission. It was sort of like giving me a relay in orbit. Like Blue Jay Enterprises doesn't need that much relays in orbit, but it's more of the idea of a recreation than the idea of an actual conventional launch thing. Because if I wanted this to be like something that would actually be useful, I'd launch like a Saturn V with like way more or not even a Saturn V, just like a small middle stage with way too many CubeSats on it. But yeah, now I'm landing it, and the one battery, I think, and also the RTG explode, and yeah, this was unavoidable. I tried many times. This was the best outcome. Either all the batteries would explode, or yeah, one battery just exploded right then, but either all the batteries would explode, or yeah, the whole thing would explode. And so the RTG is just like, I mean, it's not the most friendly thing, but to blow up in the atmosphere, but I mean, Kerbals are resilient. Now we're just heading back into the atmosphere. We're slowing down to subsonic speeds, and that little burn was just me trying to correct my trajectory. It did not really work, but yeah, this lands safely in the water, and now we're just gonna watch it coast down, and yeah. And now, so what would really happen? This would land, but while in the flight earlier, the first stage would fly down with the parachutes, and it would deploy there would be a drogue chute deployed first, and then the main parachute, which you will see. Then it would get caught and brought back. This would be brought back by a recovery boat, or depending on if it landed on land or in the water, but it would yeah. Now we landed. Now we're ready to load the quick save, which I took earlier in the video. So I jettison, and now I switch to this. It's not a very aerodynamic body, as you may have guessed, because it's just a baton flying through space. but it was able to go in the right orientation. It's not going the way like the parachute is downward. So it deploys the drogue chute first, which is to slow it down so the main parachute does not destroy itself completely while re-entering. So the drogue chute, once it fully inflates, you get the big main chute and inflate it. Now normally the drogue chute would actually be connected to the top of the big main chute, but that's not really possible in Kerbal. So, and also the helicopter would come in while it's descending. It would grab it by a little the line connecting the drogue chute and the main chute, and then it would bring it back to the launch site, and then where it would begin refueling. And it's not the most, it's not able to really survive. I reloaded a quick save that I took once I recovered the main vessel, so yeah. Thank you for watching this video, and if you liked it, please make sure to like and subscribe. If you have any ideas for future videos or other recreations that you find interesting, please leave a comment down in the comments section, and I hope I will see it. Thank you for watching.